Hey, before you decide to work with us, I just wanted to have you understand exactly how this system really works, what it is that we handle, and what your expectations are going to be. So this video isn't really like a sales pitch or anything. It's more of an overview of the process. That way you can understand how these leads are kind of generated and how they're handled and how revenue is tracked once everything really goes live. Everything starts at discovery. So on that call, we make sure that we've got alignment between ourselves and you. We want to know what your market is, what your service mix is, your capacity and your ability to like respond to all these opportunities. And we go over the structure of how we work, including our system setup fee and what the revenue share model is going to look like going forward. Ultimately, we just need to make sure expectations are very clear on both sides, and I'm sure you can understand that. One important thing to understand, I'm not building any of these systems until the commitment is made with the businesses that I'm working with. So once these terms are agreed and the agreement gets signed, then we'll just go ahead and start building out your system. After that commitment part, we're going to go inside of the go high level software and start settings that are going to be tailored to your business. So you'll have your own sub account, access to all the conversations. You'll see what your prospects are doing, how they're responding, and you'll all the lead pipelines that are relevant to the performance are going to be right there inside of one platform, and you'll have access to all that. So then we're going to go ahead and set up like the core infrastructure, and so that's going to include like your landing page and your lead forms, and so we're going to go ahead and capture all the information, and so that's going to be relayed to the call tracking system that's inside of the software. Most leads are going to originate from like Facebook ads, but those ads are designed to drive your ideal candidate towards your service. But once those forms are filled out, um, the leads are routed right into the system and also to you, and I'll touch on that here in a second. We can configure the pipelines based on what services you offer, and that's something that we can go over from the beginning. But depending on that operation, you could include things like your service calls, your estimates, your installs. But rest assured, everything is going to be tracked from the moment that a lead comes in. So finally, we're going to go ahead and build out all the automations, and this is the really cool part because this is where speed to lead and consistency come into play. So I'll break it down right here. So the moment a potential customer fills out a form, within seconds, that system does a couple of things, and it does it automatically. First, the prospect's going to go ahead and receive like a text message. It's going to confirm that we received the request. Then they receive an email, and the email will be set up to kind of introduce yourself, and it'll start that correspondence between you and this potential prospect. But at the same time, you're going to get notified. You're going to get notified right away that a new lead has come in. That lead is going to be logged, it's going to be tracked, and it's going to be placed into the appropriate pipeline inside of the software. So nothing really is going to get lost, and nothing's going to slip through the cracks here. So the automation exists for one reason. It's a speed to lead situation, because speed is what's going to give you advantage over the other competitors out there in the HVAC industry, and that's who we're trying to stay in front of in these cases. You'll get the lead. This next part is kind of critical, though. I need to point this out because once the lead comes in, execution is entirely on your side of the fence. So our standard is that the leads are contacted within 5 minutes of submission. Highest success rate. It continues to decline every 5 minutes after that. That means the calling, the texting, and making contacts need to be done as quickly as possible. The booking, dispatch, pricing, estimates, service calls, and installs, they're all handled on your end of the fence. So we're going to go ahead and build these systems for you, and we're going to have those systems create the opportunity. But it's up to you to kind of convert that opportunity into revenue. So I hope you take this part pretty seriously, because when this system performs exactly as it's designed, you're going to see revenue gains. On the follow-up side, these automations they're going to handle missed calls. They're going to handle the unanswered leads or maybe any re-engagement so that all the opportunities that are out there really don't go to waste. We're going to go ahead and review the performance inside of the system and what we're seeing by the numbers. We'll do that on a weekly basis. We can look at things like lead volume, contact rate, how many booked jobs you've got, and we'll definitely go over all the closed revenue because then we have a primary focus on what revenue that we're bringing in per lead. And we do this because from there we can go ahead and optimize if need be. That could mean like adjusting the funnel, refining the offer, maybe scaling the services. We really want to focus on the things that are going to bring in the highest return. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there because every business is set up differently and every environment responds differently. So. But I want to be clear on a few things because this really isn't set up to be a lead delivery service. It's so much more than that. It's a revenue machine. All right, because automation creates the speed, and the process that's in place creates the consistency. But it's the execution that's going to create the results. So if this approach aligns with how you want to do business and how seriously you want to grow, I think this thing's going to scale with you, and it'll work. It'll work to your advantage. I expect big things, and I really look forward to working with you here in the future. Okay.